Aguata Diocesan women have called on the federal government to map out measures that will alleviate the sufferings of the teeming populace. The president of the Diocesan Women's Ministry, Mrs. Chinyere Ezofo, who made the call while presenting her address during the 18th Aguata Diocesan Women's Conference, holding at St. Matthew's Parish, Eziagu, Orumba, South Local Government Area, stressed the need for leaders to always serve selflessly and with the fear of God. Correspondent Emmanuel Chiwata reports.
Mrs. Ezofo, who described Nigeria as a country that is richly blessed, canvassed for equitable distribution of resources among the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. She regretted several shortfalls in the nation's political system, as was experienced in the last presidential election, and called for total overhaul of the nation's electoral process in order to restore people's confidence. Mrs. Ezofo commended Governor Chukwuma Soludo for all his efforts to transform Anambra State, especially his road construction and reconstruction, in addition to restoring the confidence of the people to governance, calling for its sustainability.
We sacrifice the speech you render to encourage the women's ministry and the whole diocese in determination that God's purposes must be fulfilled. We appreciate you, sir, and pray that heaven will reward you.
In an interview, the Anglican Bishop of Aguata Diocese, Right Reverend Samuel Ezofo, who is the patron Aguata Diocesan Women's Ministry, charged leaders, especially ministers of God, to always be faithful in addition to knowing the purpose of which they were called.
Let everyone put into practice what God is saying to us, so that it will not just be what will end in the conference. Let it translate into lives. Individual lives in our homes and church and community.
On their part, Evangelist Nnamdi Eze, who made the exposition of the conference theme and wife of the Emeritus Archbishop, Province of the Niger, and Anglican Bishop of Nnewi Diocese, Mrs. Eugenia Okpala, identified accountability as one of the denominators for Christian stewardship and charged Christian stewards to learn from the example of Christ, who lived his life to serve. Some of the delegates, including the president of Aguata Diocesan Ladies Auxiliary, Lady Gloria Ezezika, the Chair Lady Central Planning Committee, Lady Ngozi Ike, and Mrs. Nonyenwu Ike, described the theme of the conference as apt and charged participants to make good use of the knowledge garnered and step it down to the grassroots to build a decent and God-fearing society.
Purpose, there is accountability, there are ways you have to do it. There is that self-sacrifice. You have to let all in you go for Christ to take over.
The presidential address was later adopted as a working document for the Aguata Diocesan Women's Ministry by Mrs. Joy Olasoro, while the Diocesan Women's Chorister Group thrilled participants with melodious tunes. Emmanuel Shibata for ABS News.